Warning, the following audio transmission will forever change your outlook on society. You will no longer believe the narrative. You are about to wake up and see things for what they really are. News, facts, and opinions. This is the Doom Daily Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Doom Daily Show. I am your host, Jester Dooms. The email, doomdailyshow@gmail.com. The website, www.jestersvoice.com. Everywhere on social media at Jester Dooms. The website, www.jestersvoice.com. Yes, go there. Leave me an audio message. And, you can click that little thing at the top there. Leave us an audio message. Let us know how we're doing. All right. So today is Monday, January 11th. I hope everybody is having a fantastic, lovely morning. I know I am. Not really, but, we're going to do what we can with what we've got. Okay. I think it's just that Monday depression, it just sets in, you have all these things you have to do for the week and there's no stopping it. It's coming. It's here. You're doing the damn thing. That is what's happening. Okay. Now I have too much to do today. So we had freezing temperatures last night. So I had to go and disconnect the water lines on the homestead that lead to the shallow well so they didn't freeze up overnight. So then I can get them reconnected today and we could have water throughout the day. All right. With that, I have to go with my wife to an appointment this morning. I also have a meeting for one of the kids this afternoon. And then I have a work meeting later this evening. Now with this, I also wanted to try to be able to run the excavator and move some dirt today, but I don't know if that's going to be a thing or not. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. We'll see. Absolute worst case scenario, I will just move dirt on Tuesday. Looking at the weather, I mean, it's going to be a little chilly and going down in the freezing temperatures the next, tonight as well. So I'm going to be finding myself messing with the water a lot this week, and that's going to suck up a lot of my time. All right. And I'm not exactly looking forward to it because this is a twice a day thing. It is drain it at night, reconnect it during the day when temperatures are above freezing, make sure everything's working correctly, and make sure to disconnect it again before temperatures drop. Now, you say to yourself, Dooms, why is this such a pain in the ass? Why do you have to do this? Well, it's because the lines that run all the way down to our shallow well, only about 20% of them have been ran underground so far. I still have like another 80% to go to ensure these lines are ran underground all the way up here. And it's something that's been on the list of things to do, and it just keeps getting pushed back and just kind of negated with everything else that's going on in daily life. And it's a pretty long run. It's about, I mean, if it was something like 25 feet, 50 feet, 100 feet, I can understand why someone would be giving me shit, but it's approximately 250 foot, 300 foot of line, like the way it comes up, the way it goes. And it's like, it goes up a hill, it comes out of the well, it goes up a hill, across a road, up another hill, and then like up through a pasture. And then once I get it up through the pasture, and that's about where I'm at now, I'm like getting into the pasture. Once I get into the little goat pasture, I got to get it up to where the tank is, which beyond the pasture is another 80 feet. And I got to make sure I know where I'm going once I get beyond that, because I plan on teeing it in and making it go other places. So it's needless to say right now, it's a lot and it's a process. And until that's done, I'm going to be dicking off doing this water system is what's going to be happening, unfortunately. So I don't foresee me getting this done this year, Well, I mean, this winter, like, once the winter season's over and spring rolls around, I'll probably plug away at it again and I might get it done. But I will not be going through this endeavor again next year. I've been fighting this for a while, and I do plan on prioritizing this project of getting the system fully functional and fully done to where I don't have to disconnect anything anymore before the next winter rolls around. So I look for that to be done. But when you're doing this homestead shit and you're doing the tiny house life and everything fights against you. And man, I'll tell you what, I could write a fucking book now on what not to do. Mistakes I made and things I've done wrong. And making the mistakes on the homesteader, it's a very kind of thing you don't want to talk about because people look down on you about this and people like to talk shit because it's easy to state the obvious after you fucked up. Like after somebody sees your fuck up, it's very easy to say, hey, dude, you're a moron. You shouldn't have did it that way. And it's like, well, yeah, now I know that. And the only reason you're saying it is because you've seen my mistake. You may have not seen my mistake before I made it either. Does that make sense? So sometimes I'll post some videos of me, something that I fucked up or did wrong on social media, and then they don't stick around very long because it's a lot of people talking shit. And I'm like, Jesus, that's all this is people talking shit. Fuck, I might as well just take the video down so I don't have to deal with it, right? So, it's kind of like, yeah, do you want the criticism, the constructive criticism? Is it constructive? No, not really. So you take it down. But then you come to realize, like, your mistakes other people learn from. That's all. We'll be back right after these messages.
Can't get enough of Jester Dooms? Check out his other show, It's Doomsday Podcast, available on all podcast platforms. That's It's Doomsday Podcast.
Back to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Doom Daily Show. I am your host, Jester Dooms. The email, doomdailyshow@gmail.com. Everywhere on social media at Jester_Dooms. The website, www.jestersvoice.com. Okay. All right. So I wanted to get into this article, and I swear to God, I thought I read it on the last. I thought we went through this on the last show, but I don't think we did. Trump declares national emergency to shield Venezuelan oil revenue held in U.S. custody. President Donald Trump signed an executive order on January 9th declaring a national emergency to block courts or private creditors from seizing Venezuelan oil revenue held in the United States, the U.S. Treasury accounts, saying any legal loss of control over the funds would threaten U.S. national security and foreign policy objectives. The order, titled Safeguarding Venezuelan Oil Revenue for the Good of America and Venezuelan People, establishes a legal firewall around proceeds derived from Venezuelan oil sales, that they are deposited in designated Treasury accounts known as foreign government deposit funds. In quotations, the preservation of the foreign government deposit funds is the utmost importance to the United States. Trump wrote, declaring that the risk of the judicial attachment constitutes an unusual and extraordinary threat to U.S. national security. The order states that the funds remain in the sovereign property of Venezuela and are held by the United States in a strictly custodial capacity, not as U.S. commercial holdings or assets subject to the jurisdiction of the courts that could be used to settle private claims. So what I'm gathering by this is it's kind of like, like when when your kids get a little bit of birthday money or they get a little bit of Christmas money and you're like, hey, we're not going to spend it, but we know if we let them have it, they're going to spend it. That's how I feel like this is working. Trump said that the funds must be preserved to support U.S. efforts to stabilize Venezuela, curb illegal immigration and inflows of deadly drugs that kill many thousands of Americans each year, and counter foreign adversaries operating in the Western Hemisphere. In quotations, by safeguarding these oil revenues, President Trump is promoting stability in Venezuela while advancing American first objectives, stopping illegal immigration, blocking deadly narcotics, and countering malign foreign influence, the White House stated in a fact sheet. Under a U.S. agreement with Venezuela's interim leaders, up to 50 million barrels of Venezuelan crude oil are to be supplied to the United States, where numerous refineries are specially equipped to refine it, Trump said in the order that firewalling the oil sales proceeds was authorized under the 1977 International Emergency Economics Power Act and the 1976 National Emergencies Act. All right. So just to kind of put things into a very just simple to understand thing, if you've been living under a rock and you've missed all this, we took Maduro out of Venezuela. We brought him and his wife to New York to face prosecution for narco-terrorism. And in doing this, their nation is trying to get restabilized with a new leader in power. Okay. And in regards to that, we are taking approximately 30 to 50 million barrels of oil. And you could sit there and do the math all day on that. The internet has done it for us and suggests that that's only going to be 2 to 2.5 days worth of fuel for Americans, which does not get us very far when you think about, the grand scheme of things and whatnot. But the oil does have to be refined. Therefore, they said it would not have a markup at the pump, that it would help out because it would be a little bit cheaper gas for a couple of days. But if you still have to go through the shipment, refinement process, all of that, I don't see it being much less of a charge for fuel. Maybe like 10 cents off a gallon, something very minute, okay, something very minor. When we talk about the idea of fossil fuels, I want everybody to remember out there that fossil fuels are renewable. The world keeps producing oil. The idea that it's a limited resource is a stupid one, because if it was, you wouldn't get a free plastic bank card. Your groceries that you buy from the grocery store wouldn't come in free plastic bags. The straws you get would not come in plastic, and your electric cars would not be made of plastic components. Everything is made of plastic because it's in such abundance. It's everywhere. It's literally in everything everywhere. Okay, it all is derived from crude. It's all derived from the oil and the fuels. It all is. It's all petroleum byproduct. And it's used in absolutely fucking everything. Some of the cheapest products you buy are made from this limited fucking resource. Come on, they're laughing at us, guys. They're fucking laughing at us. So I wanted to put that out there because people are going to start making a big deal out of this oil. And when and I feel like it's a weird tactic to sell cars. Like when, oh my God, we're getting 30 to 50 million barrels of oil. Holy shit. Oh, wait, it's only going to last a day and a half. Fuck, we need to drive electric cars. No, you do not. Okay. You do not. All right. So to continue into this, U.S. custody over Venezuelan oil proceeds. Trump's order targets revenue from Venezuelan natural resources sales or diluting transactions that are paid to or held by U.S. federal government on behalf of Venezuela, including its central bank and state oil company, Petróleos de Venezuela. Under the order, any attachment, lien, garnishment, or other judicial action against those funds is prohibited and deemed null and void unless explicitly authorized by the U.S. government. The measure also bars any transfer of the funds except under regulations issued by federal agencies, while empowering the Treasury Department and Attorney General Pam Bondi to assert sovereign immunity over the funds in any court or administrative proceedings. Several major oil companies have long-standing attribution claims against Venezuela stemming from assets nationalizations under former leader Hugo Chavez. Companies including ExxonMobil and ConocoPhillips exited Venezuela nearly 2 decades ago and are still owed billions of dollars. Billions with a B. All right, we're going to pick back up with this article after these messages.
Hey, Producer Scooter here. First off, thank you for downloading and participating in the wide world of Jester Doom. Please be sure to check out jestersvoice.com website. Everything you want to know is located on jestersvoice.com. If you're looking for salacious details, it's on jestersvoice.com. Don't forget to share the show with your friends and even with all your enemies. And now, back to the musings of Jester Doom.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Doom Daily Show. I am your host, Jester Dooms. Your producer over there in the corner is Producer Scooter, looking very dapper today. I like what you did with your facial hair. It looks good. Oh, that's not on purpose? Okay, I'm sorry. It still looks good, though. Okay, so moving back into this. U.S. oil companies to restore Venezuela's production capacity. Trump signed the order on the same day he hosted executives from major energy companies, including Chevron, ExxonMobil, ConocoPhillips, Shell, and Halliburton, at the White House to discuss investment plans for rebuilding Venezuela's oil sector. Trump said companies would invest at least $100 billion to rebuild Venezuela's dilapidated energy infrastructure and restore production capacity. Now, I wonder, it was interesting to see Halliburton on this list. If you guys don't know, Halliburton was very big in the fracking industry. And when the fracking industry took a shit, so did Halliburton and a lot of the jobs surrounding that. I didn't even know Halliburton was still around, okay? But it makes you wonder if these companies go down there and they start really tearing into Venezuela and really get that infrastructure up and going again, what that's going to do for Venezuelans as far as their job market and economy goes, which could be very freaking good. Also, it makes me wonder what kind of jobs are going to be available to U.S. citizens to travel down there to run oil rigs or to get fracking sites up and running, whatever it is they decide to do. Fracking was an amazing technology. A lot of people did not like fracking. I worked in that industry for a little while, and I could tell you it's a lot of people demonize anything with the oil industry, and fracking was one that they could see. It was one that they could protest. It was one that they could muddy the waters with beliefs. And fracking is like, it's a very simple process. All right. You pump in sand, you drill into the ground, just like you do with an oil well. And then you pump in sand and water, pumping it into these cavities that lurk underground left and right and wherever. And by you filling up with sand and water, it pushes the oil to the surface. So there's a lot of people talking about, oh, people's wells get damaged or this or that or blah, blah, blah. And like all these things happen. Like, I'm sure there's isolated incidences, but this is still better than strip mining. It's still better setting guys underground to go get the coal. It's still better than fighting countries and getting into wars over oil. It is still better. It's still better, no matter how you slice it. Okay? Just it's better. All right? These are the same people that bitch about this that don't want you collecting the water that falls from the fucking sky that ends up in the fucking reservoirs that you drink from anyway. Like, people drive me nuts. These people with the rain collection. It's every amount of water you drink has came from a reservoir that has collected fucking rainwater, you jackwagon. You are drinking rainwater. You're allowing your city to collect it because you're too stupid to know that they're doing it. Like, where do you think it comes from? Like, where do you think your city gets its water supply from? Did you ever wonder? No, you didn't, because you're a fucking idiot. All right, moving on. In quotations, when you add Venezuela and the United States together, we're 55% of the oil in the world, Trump said at the meeting, noting that his administration would decide very soon which oil companies would be permitted to operate in the country under U.S. security guarantees. Trump said companies would deal directly with Washington rather than Venezuelan authorities, and that oil revenues would be controlled by the United States to ensure that they are used for reconstruction and humanitarian purposes for the benefit of both the American and the Venezuelan people. The order builds the administration's decision to securely roll back sanctions on Venezuelan oil exports while maintaining strict U.S. control over the proceeds. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt recently said Washington had already started marketing Venezuelan crude oil globally through major traders and banks. All proceeds from the oil sales will first settle in the U.S.-controlled accounts at globally recognized financial institution, Leavitt said. Vice President J.D. Vance recently described the oil policy as a form of high-quality diplomacy that allows Washington to exert pressure without military escalation. In quotations, the way we control Venezuela is we control the purse settings. We control the energy resources, Vance said in a January 7th interview. You're allowed to sell the oil so long as you serve America's national interests. Trump's order came less than a week after U.S. forces captured Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro in Caceres, Venezuela, and transferred him to the United States to face federal drug and arms trafficking charges. Maduro and his wife have pled not guilty. If you haven't caught that yet, go back a couple shows. We can give you that information, and we'll be back right after these messages.
Hey, producer Scooter here. And if you've made it this far, I just want to commend you for diligent listening skills. But also, I want you to take a moment since you've come this far with us. Send an email to doomdailyshow@gmail.com. Let us know where you're listening from. If you have any ideas for something you'd like Jester to address or talk about, send us an email. That's doomdailyshow@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Doom Daily Show. If I sound a little bit different tonight, it is because I'm in fact recording in front of a computer tonight with a real microphone in front of me. So, guys, let me know. Send me an email, doomdailyshow@gmail.com, if the audio sounds better or it's worse, or you just, if you don't like me, just send me an email saying, hey, dude, fuck you. That works too. So just to recap, on a little bit on this. I mean, guys, we have to get oil production back up. Okay, oil production is never going to stop. I hate going down like these rabbit holes with the electric cars and all the bullshit, but I mean, you really have to see through this at some point and realize that even if you want an electric car, it is still built of plastic, which still means oil production. They need oil to make the electric car. It's not going away. And the fact of the fucking matter is they're much more disposable than the gas vehicles that we produce. Hence the problem. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. I'm not saying there's a future out. I'm not saying that there is not a future out there beyond petroleum-based vehicles and combustion engines. I'm not saying there's not a future. However, right now, it's not a foreseeable one. And until they do things with the electric cars, like, I don't know, make rebuildable battery cells that, a mechanic could do in the garage, in the shop down the road, or, your guy that's a little bit handy could start rebuilding his own batteries himself at home, or until they start coming up with a battery that doesn't require mining to get the battery. So, like, you think about this for a second. You have to have a mine to get the lithium, which requires petroleum-operated equipment, bulldozers, excavators, dump trucks, all of these things, and destroys the land to get to the lithium that's going in these batteries, or the cobalt that's getting into these batteries, which your cobalt may or may not be mined by slave children, okay? So you're doing all that just to get to just to get the materials you need for the battery, burning up how many fossil fuels to get to this battery, right? And then you realize, okay, all that happened. Then that has to be processed and shipped and everything else, all being done with petroleum vehicles. Okay. Then you think that they have to build the car, steel, which requires milling and mining. And then a lot of the car is made up of plastic, which again is crude oil that's being either pumped out of the Gulf somewhere or brought in from overseas. And they're manufacturing that car out of plastic. Your door panels, your body panels, the casing for the battery, like the list goes on of how much petroleum is used to make that car. And then you come to the sad realization that that car does not outlast a gasoline engine vehicle, like a standard combustion vehicle. It doesn't outlast it on the road. And you just incorporated a whole nother fucking mining process to get to that electric car that is not out sustaining the combustion engine vehicle. Okay. Like, that's what you just did. So in order for you to have your electric car, you're creating a much larger carbon footprint. You're destroying more of the earth. You're supporting a secondary set of mining. Okay. And then all that in support of it being on the fucking road less time. And that's why these people that you talk to about the electric cars and you get into the arguments with them, they just shut down. They say, no, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. Because they have nowhere to go because it's so blatantly fucking obvious. And I remember an argument I had with somebody about a year ago. And I said, listen, I will drive an electric car when it takes absolutely no petroleum byproducts to make it or manufacture it. Then I'll start driving it. Because until then, it doesn't matter. And they got shitty and they got mad and they were all sorts of just, distraught with me. And it's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you guys that push these electric cars, I mean, you're all about saving the environment, but at the same time, the means to do it is more destructive. So it doesn't make sense. Okay. Now, I have learned with recent reading that hydrogen engines are going to be the way of the future. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But something I was recently reading said that, and this is out there. It's on the internet. You can go read this, right? That Toyota is actually one of the manufacturers that's in production trying to develop a good hydrogen engine, like a hybrid hydrogen engine. So I don't know. We use the fuel. We need the fuel. If we start stabilizing Venezuela and really get their economy booming again, and we could do a lot of benefit to their people from going in and helping them regulate, and we benefit from it too, from getting more oil production, I think that's fantastic. But you see, you guys, ladies and gentlemen, you see the game here though, right? The same people that are against the oil are the same people that are against Trump. The same people that are for the electric cars wanted Kamala in office. So do you see how all these things kind of wrap together to where they make you pick a side, they make you choose? Right now I'm for oil. And because Trump is pushing, into Venezuela and hey, we're going to go in there, we're going to get the oil, we're going to stabilize the nation, we're going to get some big oil companies to get in there, and we're going to get this shit done, and it's going to benefit them, it's going to benefit us. Like right now I'm fucking team Trump. If he went in there and said, we're going to start getting the lithium out of there, I'd be like, fuck Trump. So that's where we stand currently, And in other news, and I don't have the article pulled up here in front of me. I will try to find it for tomorrow's show. But it was recently mentioned by Mr. Trump that the cartel members and these drug lords are no longer going to be safe on Mexican soil, that we're going to start coming for them. Yeah, because apparently the Mexican government can't do much. They're outnumbered. They're outgunned. That's the way it's seeming, that the Mexican military is not able to do too much. So it looks like we might go in there and help them out too. I swear to God, they're listening to the show. I swear. They got to be. Anyway. Guys, if you're not following the show, make sure to hit that follow button. Producer Scooter, thank you for everything that you do over there and behind the scenes. Ladies and gentlemen, give me that IRL interaction. All right. And your code word for the week, your code word. Remember, we talked about this. I'm going to use this on social media and stuff. And I want you guys to know. I want to know if you pick up on this code word, your code word for the week. Bottle, B-O-T-T-L-E. That's your code word, bottle. So if you hear me using it and you say, he used the code word, then I'll know you're listening. Anyway, see you guys on another exciting episode of the Doom Daily Show tomorrow. Have a great Monday, everybody.
News, facts, and opinions. This is the Doom Daily Show.